Hello, Design Hotline.
Welcome to another episode of Design Hotline with our first ever interior designer, Jamie. Woo! We're really excited to have you on, Jamie. I think everyone's really excited to learn more about you.
Ooh,
to get advice from an interior designer. So I guess we're gonna go straight in. But you know, how are you feeling right now?
I am a little bit nervous, I will be honest, but no, I'm excited. I think it'll be good.
Don't worry, everyone feels nervous. I'm feeling nervous right now. I think everyone knows. So you're gonna do great, Jamie. Okay, well, before we get into the nitty gritty, can you just let the audience know, what led you into the world of interior design and made you become a designer?
My dad is a designer, so I was sort of exposed to the industry at a fairly young age. And I think I definitely developed my passion from there. And then when I finished school, it was just sort of the only career path that really stood out to me. So I went straight to uni and then from uni to here. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been lots of fun at the same time.
Wow, that's so awesome that you just knew you wanted to become a designer.
Yeah, it was something I think I've always, just wanted to do and had a passion for, and it's lots of fun.
I can tell, just very straightforward, direct pathway. Love it. So we have a few questions in the hotline, some from, our team, some from customers, some from online. So I've kind of grabbed you on against your will, just so you can help me answer some of these, because I'm not a designer, as you can tell from the first Design Hotline. But I guess the first one is from the team is, can you describe the role of an interior designer beyond making things look aesthetic?
Well, that's definitely a part of the job and probably the funnest aspect of the job. I think what people don't understand when it comes to interior design is that there's a lot of technical knowledge that you need to understand in order to make sure that the project is practical and functional, and make the building process as easy as possible, ensuring that all the items are going to fit and work in the space. And that takes a lot of training and guidance from operations teams and our tradies and things like that.
It's a great answer. Especially after working, right next to you guys and seeing what you guys do. It's definitely beyond making just pretty renders and picking the most beautiful looking fixtures.
Well, that is definitely the funnest part, though.
It is the funnest part, but seeing that you guys have to do a lot of organization, a lot of project management behind the scenes, and really getting everything ready for the site and operations teams to really let them get to work and basically operate and execute on the design.
Yeah, I guess our main objective is to ensure that the project is wrapped up in a pretty bow and all the details are there and ready for the site team to build it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great teamwork between you and the design and the site teams. And you guys are in constant conversations of hey, within the project, especially in the pre-construction stage.
Yeah.
So for the listeners out there who haven't heard this term before, we use it, I don't know if it's an industry term, but in Novalé, we use pre-construction for everything before the construction. So you think about the planning, the concept, the layout. Correct me if I'm wrong in any of these.
Yeah, order placement, homeowner's warranty, scheduling the trades, all of that is part of pre-construction.
Yeah, and Jamie is heavily involved in that and working with the site team to get into construction.
Yeah.
So great answer. Thank you, Jamie. All right, the next one that we've got from customers is, can you give us a few examples of Novalé's preferred suppliers and why we use them?
Yeah, so we do have quite a wide range of preferred suppliers. We don't necessarily narrow them down to a specific one or two. But the reason we have preferred suppliers is that we can ensure that they will deliver the product. We know their quality, their warranties, their aftercare service is a really big one. When you purchase a product, is the sales consultant just leaving you high and dry at that stage, or are they helping you with, filling in the order forms and ensuring all the details are there, updating you with lead times and booking in deliveries, things like that. And then it comes down to product offering as well. You don't want to just be narrowed down into one little option that might not suit you. You want to have different options to explore with different styles and finishes and things like that.
I agree. And I think, especially coming from someone that doesn't have much experience in renovations, is that I would be inclined just to, if I see two similar products, kind of be inclined to choose the cheapest one without really knowing, all these other factors that really warrant into the quality, especially what you said, the aftercare, the sales, the warranty.
Warranty's a big one.
Like if something, happens to that product, what's the process in replacing it and taking care of it? I think a lot of customers overlook this important aspect that you want when you purchase something. Obviously,
you want it to last.
You want it to last, and you want it to be quality. And that the factors that really come into that is, where is it tested? How is it tested? Where is it made as well? And really, what's the process in the entire thing, not just the price. So
yeah.
Well, thank you for that, Jamie. Next one. This one's from the team. Okay, what are the top 3 design tips for people renovating a bathroom?
I think first and foremost, you always got to factor in practicality and functionality before aesthetics. I think people forget about that when it comes to bathrooms, and you try and cram a lot into a space or try and do a layout that may not work. The best is once you complete the space, you want to make sure it's usable and you feel comfortable. So that would be my first point. My second point would be make sure you start from the base up. So for me, I find that the tiles is important to pick first, and then you build your remaining finishes and items from there so that it all talks to each other. And thirdly, I think it is really important to consider storage in a bathroom. Obviously, people have a lot of products these days, and it's really important that you have somewhere to put them and consider the size of your vanity and if you want a shaving cabinet and how that works for your space. And then don't forget little added things you can put in these spaces to make them all practical, like maybe a PowerPoint in the shaving cabinet so you can store your electric toothbrush in the cabinet and it's not on the bench. So all of those elements, I think, work together to make the best space for you.
Thank you, Jamie. I think these are most of the biggest faux pas when designing a bathroom, especially the bathroom's usually the smallest space or one of the smallest space in the home. And you do want it to have a lot of functionality and practicality, and that usually, leads into cramming as much stuff in. And sometimes you really need to respect that space in itself is a priority.
Definitely.
And having good flow and functionality when you're using the bathroom is a huge consideration, and you can kind of get shiny object syndrome and just I want that freestanding bath, I want that vanity, I want 2 vanities, and it's really I think the greatest thing about interior design, it helps you kind of leverage and balance these elements that are really complicated at times, and make these decisions with confidence, knowing that it's going to work in that space and it's going to really look great as well, and it's going to achieve the goals that you set for it. So thank you for that. So final one. Okay, to finish off this episode of Design Hotline, if you had one message for someone considering hiring an interior designer but is still on the fence, what would you tell them?
I think if you are considering hiring a designer, that is your first sign that you should definitely be going with it. If you just want a little bit of guidance and you're not 100% confident to make the selections yourself, why not get a little bit of expert advice? There's heaps of different levels. You don't have to go for the full service where they, select everything for you. If you want to just get someone to give you a little bit of advice in one area, or just help with a little confirming the selections for just a kitchen or just a bathroom, I think it's really important, and is value for money for someone to come in and make sure it is practical and it is going to work for you and understand your brief to achieve the result that you're wanting. So I think it's definitely worth the investment. Another way to sort of look at it is, if you're going to spend all that money on the build or all that money on purchasing new items, new furnishings, whatever it is, you want to make sure it's right. So I think the value of the investment will pay off.
100% I agree as well, Jamie. Good answer. I think as well is that design involves a lot of decision making, and
decision fatigue is real.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing, and it just compounds itself. And just having someone that's experienced like Jamie, who has probably done hundreds of bathrooms and kitchens and laundries at this point, she's been through it, she's experienced it, she has that knowledge and expertise to help you solve these issues. And I think first and foremost, an interior designer is a problem solver. So
Definitely.
whether it's, visualizing the space, having visions or goals, like if there's any weird layouts that your bathroom has, an interior designer is definitely a
Trying to make
must.
the most of the space.
Yes, make the most of it with, with the space that you have. So definitely, if you're sitting on the fence, these are things to consider. And once again, Jamie said, you don't have to, you can, hire a designer to solve these specific problems. They don't have to be a full package engagement, So thank you, Jamie.
No problem.
That
Thank
wraps
you.
up the second edition of
That
Design
wasn't
Hotline.
too bad.
I know, right? Yeah. And that was really good. You're like our first interior designer on this, and hopefully, you come on as a regular guest.
Yeah, hopefully you'll have me back. Who knows? You have to wait and see what the future holds.
I know. We'll see if Crystal and I let you back in. And but thank you so much. This is really helpful.
That's all right.
And thank you for once again checking in for another edition of Design Hotline. If you have any questions, honestly, comment on whatever platform you're viewing or listening this on. Go on our Instagram, go on our website as well. You can even book a discovery call with an interior designer. So yeah, reach us out for any questions and we'll see you on the next one. All right.
All right.